There are three big niches that are killing clothing brands, and you could be falling victim too. We're going to talk about it. You're listening to the Street Cred podcast, the show laser focused on helping streetwear brand owners turn their. Oh my goodness, I'm muddling my words this morning, people. This is the show laser focused on helping you turn your streetwear brand side hustle into a career. That's right, we got there in the end. I'm Elijah Delport. And this morning, this is day 3 of daily podcasting. And I'm deciding, before we get into the topic today, I'm deciding to put a time on it. We are going weekdays at 7 a.m. This podcast is releasing every single day of the week. No, every single weekday at 7 a.m. So look, if you're in your car on your way to work, if you are, minding the kids, whatever it is, if you're just getting up, wake up, this podcast should be ready for you at 7 a.m. AEST. So anyway, let's get into it. So what am I talking about, these three big clothing brand niches? Well, look, if you've listened to this show for any amount of time, you would know that I love talking about niching down. And I don't just suggest, I challenge and encourage very persistently that all streetwear brands find their niche, right? And what am I talking about by a niche? I mean a niche ideology, ethos, lifestyle behind your brand, right? It's like Nike's Just Do It. It's victory. It's all about winning, success. Or it's like Patagonia's environmental message. It's sustainability. These are all niches. And the reason I say this is because many clothing brands out there have they don't have a differentiation. And the truth is that you need to tell your customers the reason why they should pick your brand over every other brand out there, because you're already at a disadvantage. Because get this, there's people that have been in it for longer than you. There's people that design better than you. There's people in it that have better quality than you. There's people that charge cheaper price than you. And all of these things are things that people use to try and differentiate yourself. You might say, yes, but I have designs that are better, right? That might be true. You might have designs that are better than a lot of people's. However, that's not something you can just say for yourself and nobody else can say about themselves. That's not a real differentiation, right? So you need to find your thing that only you can say about your brand. And if someone else comes along, they can't easily say that about themselves. That is your one of one. You're one of one. You need to be one of one for something. So once we get to differentiation and niching down, like picking a lifestyle niche, there's the big three. I like to call it the big three. And these are the three niches that most brands choose, right? This is where the most is. The majority are in one of these three. It's really funny, actually, because it's almost comedic when I'm coaching brands and we get to the niche and I say, what's your brand message? And they say one of these three. It's like, oh, that was predictable. So here they are. You might find yourself in one of these. Number 1, sustainability. Number 2, mental health. And number 3, skateboarding. Or you could go even a bit broader than that in sports and activity. Now, these are the big three because there's a lot of brands in every single one. I can name several mental health brands. In fact, I've coached several mental health brands. I can name several sustainability brands. In fact, I've also coached several sustainability brands and skateboarding brands. I've only coached one of them. So look, you see what I mean? And when I say these niches, you're like, yeah, absolutely. Everybody and their mother is in one of these niches for your clothing brand. So is it a problem in and of itself to be in one of these niches? No, absolutely not. This is a great start. If you are in one of these niches, you're in a great place. You're in a great place because you've already decided, hey, I'm going to have a deeper lifestyle, a deeper message behind my brand that I'm going to sell, and that's going to be my differentiation. So fantastic start. However, the whole purpose of niching down is that you can be different, that you can stand out. And there's no point picking a differentiation that lots of other people have because you're not standing. It makes void the entire purpose of having a niche because you're not standing out anymore. You just look and sound like every other mental health brand or every other sustainability brand or every other skateboard brand, right? So here's the solution that I provide. I haven't got a name for it, but let's call it layering. Let's go a layer deeper. And what I mean by that is that most people can just choose a niche. right? They can choose a culture. They can choose, Japanese, or they can choose an ideology like getting outside your comfort zone. However, if you're in one of these big three, or maybe another one, you get the sense that a lot of brands are in this niche, then going a layer deeper looks like niching inside the niche, right? So let me provide you an example. Let's say you're a sustainability brand. Instead of just sustainability, your brand message could focus on marine life and aquatic sustainability. That's a niche within a niche. So now I get to ask you, how many brands are within that niche of yours? And you say, well, lots in sustainability, but in marine and aquatic life and sustainability, well, me, I'm one of one. That gives you a plausible reason, a plausible case to say you should buy my brand over any other people. Because if I care about marine life and marine sustainability, I have a case to buy from your brand over everybody else. Even when the designs are the same quality, the materials are the same quality, the customer service is the same quality, all of those things. And heck, if it's even better than that, great, all power to you. However, I have an actual one-of-one case for why you should buy my brand over every other. Right? Let me give you another example inside of mental health. So instead of just being mental health brand, you could dive deeper into addressing men's toxic body image, right? Or another one, how about introverted males? What if it's about giving introverted males a voice? Right? That's an example. So going a layer deeper means that you're not just one of the thousands of mental health brands out there right now. No, it means that you are now categorizing yourself as different from all of the others, and not just by means of material or design. Finally, if you are a skate brand, instead of just being into skating, why don't you be into a specific skate culture of a specific country or even city? Even better. Seriously, that's exactly what Supreme has done, right? Their whole thing is all about, they started as a skatewear brand, a streetwear brand, and they were in the streets of New York. And their shop, their first storefront shop that they opened in New York City, became the hub for skaters. Like, literally, they would hang out there with their skateboards and, skate around the streets and stuff, and then they hang out in the shop, right? It was literally a community place for the skateboarders of New York. And you see now, even now that Supreme has expanded and scaled up to the size that they have, they've scaled beyond just being a skatewear brand, and now they've become a brand for New York City culture in general. So now they have wings of artists, of New York City artists and street photographers. And what's another part of their brand? Yeah, I think they're the main two things. It's like, yeah, skateboarding and creatives are the main ones. And you'll see what I mean if you go onto their Instagram page or their website. That's really the lifestyle that they're representing. The point is, they started with a niche within a niche, right? So maybe you're from Sydney, Australia, and you want to create the Sydney skateboarder brand. And there's going to be certain inside jokes about Sydney. There's going to be certain things that only skaters that are from Sydney will know about. That is the stuff that you let shine through your brand, because now you have a niche within a niche. And a niche within a niche, those extra layers mean that you're still differentiated in a saturated niche. In saturated niches such as mental health, sustainability, and skateboarding. So look, you don't have to do this. However, I would highly suggest you do. And you might not be in one of these niches. However, you might be in a different kind of niche, and you get the sense that it is also saturated. And you might want to do the same thing, a layer within a layer. And finally, you might be in a niche and it's not saturated at all, and you still just want to do a layer within a layer. That's okay too. And you can do that, and that's not going to hurt your business. I'll leave you with this. Any objections to niching down, I always say. Because, lots of people, lots of brands that I speak with, they say, I don't want to limit my sales. I don't want to limit the people that I sell to. I always say this: if you market to everyone, you sell to no one. But if you market to one person, you can sell to everyone. Okay, what does that mean? If you niche down to be the brand for marine biologists, for people who are interested in marine sustainability, you're still going to sell to people like my mum, who, I mean, yeah, like she cares about the ocean and she loves the ocean, but she's not passionate about it. And she's gonna love your brand, right? Maybe you don't want my mum buying from it, but you get my point, that there's going to be people outside the niche that still buy from it. Because chances are you have some Nike shoes in your house right now. Maybe they're on your feet, and you aren't the target audience of Nike, right? So I'll put that out there. So niche down, and if you're in a saturated niche, find a niche within the niche. Go a layer deeper. And that's all I've got for you. Well, thanks very much for listening to this episode of Street Cred. By the way, if you want to join a community of 80 plus other motivated brand owners that you can network with and also get a free streetwear marketing course, go into the description of wherever you're consuming this episode, because there is a link to my community on School. It's called Streetwear 365, and it's got all of that and more. I'm posting stuff there every day. There's heaps of people to network with, and there is the marketing course. It's 100% free to join. All you need to go do is click on the link and follow the steps, and you're in. So look, I'm really excited to see you on the inside. Thanks for listening to this episode. Remember, weekdays at 7 a.m. and I will see you at 7 a.m. tomorrow for another episode